Russians are voting in local elections this weekend. In the run-up, there's been a series of standoffs between Moscow police and protesters. These demonstrators want free and fair elections, and they accuse the government of keeping opposition candidates off the ballots. Now, elections are being held across the country on Sunday in 19 regions. And critics say this vote will not be free or fair because, as in Moscow, local governments have the last word on who makes the final list of candidates. Officially sanctioned candidates have had no trouble securing their slots on the ballot, but those opposed to the Russian government have often been silenced.
Yasmin Fahmy is furious. Together with thousands of others, she signed her name in support of a social liberal candidate in Moscow's upcoming local elections. But then the Electoral Commission decreed that the candidate was not allowed to stand.
We weren't given an explanation. They just said, that's not your signature. That was it.
It was an arbitrary decision, she says, and it spurred her into action. She spoke to independent media and then, like tens of thousands of others, took to the streets in authorized and unauthorized demonstrations. Security personnel have regularly come down heavily on the protesters, and thousands have been arrested.
I went on the demos to show that I was against what was happening. I want to influence how people live in our city.
She's especially concerned about the area where her family has lived for 4 generations, the Gagarin district. Yasmin volunteers in the district offices, and that's where she met Yelena Rusakova, the election candidate who, owing to allegedly forged signatures, was forced to step down. Rusakova took her case to court, but in vain. Here in Russia, there is a group of people who make all the important decisions, and they don't want change. It is, she says, all about keeping the status quo. Moscow's Electoral Commission says it's familiar with such arguments, but seems unable or unwilling to do anything. Right now, I can't see any reason to call off the elections. If we see problems like those in other regions, then we'll act accordingly. The local elections in Moscow have developed into a serious political crisis. And although the opposition barely has a chance, Yasmin Fahmy says she's not giving up.
I'll continue to fight and take part in demos. All of this is leading to the degradation of our society. I don't want that.
Especially not for her children, she says. She hopes that they might have the chance of one day living in a democratic Russia.